Hello everyone, this is the Bon Jovi Talk podcast. Today's the day where Forever Legendary Edition has been released. Picked mine up this morning from HMV, so I gave it a listen yesterday. I actually used it because I've already heard the album obviously previously. The duets album hasn't really done much for me in terms of, like excitement and stuff like that, so I wasn't too fussed about waiting to hear it. Usually when it's a brand new Bon Jovi album, I'll listen to the singles and then try and stay away from the album as much as possible until release day and put the CD in and the vinyl and whatever and listen to it all the way through. But I wasn't that bothered about this release, in all honesty. It's been a big week. Considering I'd done a post the other day, or a video the other day, where I was saying, that there hasn't been that much to talk about in the Bon Jovi world. Finally, we've had a fair bit of news this week, quite exciting news. It's been nice. Me Twitter/X has been off the scale, genuinely. The amount of notifications and DMs and messages and even just WhatsApp, obviously with friends and people I've met through the forum and Twitter and stuff like that. It's been a mad week, to be honest with you. It's been a long time since it's been like that, so that's been quite nice. I have to say, it's been nice to talk about Bon Jovi again, whether it's positive or negative. It's been nice. Don't know whether to start with the album first or the tour. Let's talk about the tour first. I think the tour is the most exciting part. So I said it from day one, whenever Bon Jovi go on tour again, I'll be there. I've said that from day one, no matter how bad John sounds, and I might be contradicting myself and stuff like that. But I said it in the video the other day. Going to see Bon Jovi is more than just the show. That it generally is, for me anyway. Even when I went to see them in my hometown Liverpool, we made a day out of it. Met up with friends, met up with people from Bon Jovi Talk. Met up with a couple of people there. Some people in the actual what's it called, the queue, recognised obviously the podcast and stuff like that. So it was nice to speak to some people there. And it just adds to the day, really does. I don't just turn up an hour before the show and, watch the show and get off. I make a day of it with friends, girlfriends, whoever it is, whatever. It's a big deal. And for me, there's no day like a Bon Jovi concert day. Whether you enjoy the show or not, there's been a couple of shows where I've come away going, it was alright, I got to see Bon Jovi, it was alright, but it wasn't spectacular. But I still absolutely loved that time, that day. So yeah, the Bon Jovi shows are a bonus for me. I get to see people that I love and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm buzzing that they're back on tour. I'm not buzzing for certain other elements of it, but I'm buzzing that I get to experience this again with, as I said, people I love and stuff like that. I really am. I think they've done it smart. I think big venues and a couple of dates is perfect. When I say Murrayfield Stadium, I think this is off the top of my head. I think the 28th of August in Edinburgh, which is 68,000 people, something like that. Then you've got Croke Park, which is 82,000 people, I think, on the 30th of August, something like that. And then obviously Wembley Stadium, which we all know is 90,000 or something crazy, on the 4th of September. So I'm hoping to do all three dates. It's been 6 years since I got to see Bon Jovi. I'm not, as I said, it's not because I can't wait to see certain songs live and stuff like that, because we all know obviously the issues he's got currently, and we'll get onto that in a sec. But it was just nice to see a tour now. So it was nice to see a poster with Bon Jovi and tour dates on it again, because it feels like so long ago. And I'll be honest, when it was 2019 and Bon Jovi were plastered everywhere on buses and billboards and just, on street shops and stuff like that, that was, I absolutely loved that, because I've never experienced that with Bon Jovi. Not to that degree anyway. The odd album poster maybe, but Bon Jovi everywhere I looked in Liverpool were, as I said, on buses and stuff like that. And it was amazing to see, it genuinely was. So to see another poster again with tour dates on, I'm not expecting them obviously to be in Liverpool, but it's nice to see that again. I have to admit, no matter how critical I've been in the past and stuff like that, that for me was it was nice to see. I actually also got a bit of a buzz when I was watching that live stream on, well, it wasn't live, but the stream that was on at 5 o'clock or whatever it was, whatever day that was as well, Tuesday, Wednesday. I got a buzz from that, I have to say, when John kind of walked in the camera shot and the band were there and they started the intro to Legendary. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's not my cup of tea really, that song, I don't mind it, but it's not my cup of tea. But I got a buzz because not really, we haven't heard the band play that live. Maybe apart from, did they play it in that bar in Nashville, but again I don't think it was all of them. I can't even remember. But yeah, it was just nice to hear that and nice to see them, and unfortunately the vocals, you know, aren't what we want. I'm going to get onto that. But it was nice to see, it was nice to hear Red, White and Jersey. I really don't like that song, it does nothing for me either. However, I thought that sounded the best out of the three. And obviously It's My Life, which another thing we'll speak about. But it really was, I got a buzz, and it's been a long time since I got a buzz like that when I see Bon Jovi. And I can't wait for that in August and September in 2026. So yeah, let's get back onto that performance the other day. So I'm not sure when it was recorded, I'll be honest. Was it a week ago? Was it the day before? Was it on the day? I honestly don't know. When it first started, I had that like not nervous, but what's he gonna sound like? And then when he sounded like he did, I was like, my heart dropped a little bit because I was in work with it on. So there was a couple of staff members in the room, and I was just like, you know, where you kind of want them to sound, or want John to sound great, and he just didn't. And it felt like a kick in the bollocks, to be honest with you. I was a bit gutted, but I don't know what I was expecting. I'm never ever gonna, you know, I'm never gonna expect 95 and even 2010 vocals again. I'm not. 2013 I'd take, 2015 at a push, because I think that's probably the limit he can go, but I don't even think he'll ever get there again. It just sounds like he generally sounds like he's finished, unfortunately. I do think he sounded a little bit better in 2022, but we've got to remember that this is pre-recorded, this has been tweaked. It wasn't like he was playing in the middle of London like they did on the O2 Arena at that time to promote stuff. They literally, you know, it's been edited and he still sounded that bad, and it's a shame. I say it all the time, I don't want him to sound bad, I really don't. I want to listen to him and go, ooh, there we go. And I still haven't had that yet. I really thought It's My Life was awful. And it's a shame because It's My Life isn't one of them songs that I think he sounds really poor on, usually on tour. It hasn't sounded great for a few years, or for a while even. But it's not one of them where I go, that was the worst one out the lot. But that the other day sounded really, really, really bad. To the point even, you know, I got messages from people who aren't even fans, and I've obviously seen that clip on Twitter that's pretty much gone viral, let's be honest. Even my one, like my cult tweet to it, I posted before, it's had over 100,000 views and 700 odd likes and stuff like that. Like, not many of my posts get that, so it just shows that people are seeing it, which isn't a good thing. But yeah, I'm trying not to be too negative on here in terms of the tour dates, because I generally am buzzing. I'll be contradicting myself because I am going to try and get all three shows. I'd love to do Madison Square Garden, but I've got a little boy who's one tomorrow, so wish him happy birthday. Who's one tomorrow. It just wouldn't be fair to travel to New York. My money goes on him now, and that's how it should be. I say that I'm bloody going to 3 shows hopefully, but in terms of how much it would be to go to New York and stuff like that, and I know I wouldn't want to do just the one show, I'd want to go to 2 or 3. It just wouldn't, it's just not fair. And to be honest with you, I don't want to spend time away from him. And I know I could probably take him like other people do and put them headphones on him, but he's going to be 1.5 when that show comes round. It's not fair. So yeah, I think New York's out the question. But yeah, the other 3 shows I can't wait for. I can't wait to see friends again that I haven't seen for ages. I know there's people coming from different countries who've messaged me who I can't wait to see again. I genuinely can't wait. I'm so excited to see everyone again. I'm genuinely excited to see them on stage again. I know when I walk into that stadium and I see the stage for the first time and see everyone in Bon Jovi tops and stuff like that, and the merchandise outside, I know I'll get that buzz that I've loved since I was 10 years old when I first went to see them. That's never gone, no matter how many times I've seen them since. I still get that buzz, and I can't wait to have that again. Let's go back to the album then. So yeah, as I said, I'm not that excited. I wasn't that excited for it. I've done a little review on the few songs we've heard so far the other day. I wasn't that. It's not for me really. But there's a couple of songs that don't sound too bad. I Wrote You a Song. I'll be honest. Kiss the Bride and I Wrote You a Song and Hollow Man were the three-way songs for me personally on forever. Since they've come out, I've probably listened to them. When did the album come out? June 2024. I reckon I've listened to them 3 or 4 times. Generally, I just don't like them. So I've seen a couple of people, and a few people messaged me when they listened to it before me yesterday saying about I Wrote You a Song that's gone to another level. I was like, can't be any worse. And I listened to it, and I actually think that's the one song that's really, really elevated to another level. Lainey Wilson sounds brilliant on it. I actually think John's vocals sound different on it. One of the reasons I don't like that song is because I think John sounds so weak on it. It doesn't sound too bad. It's like, I don't know whether he's re-recorded it or they've just tweaked his voice again, but it just sounds more natural. It sounds, it actually sounds like a duet. It reminds me Till We Ain't Strangers anymore. I got that feeling when I was listening to it yesterday for the first time, and I've listened to it once since. But yeah, it's gone from a song that I can't stand to a song with it that I've listened to and I've gone, oh, okay, it's not something I put in my playlist, you know what I mean, but it's nice to see a pretty shit song go to a different level. Same with Hollow Man. I actually prefer Hollow Man with Bruce. What other song? I'm going to try and do the songs that I prefer. That might be it. Yeah, I think that's it, to be honest with you. I don't really like the album, I'll be honest with you. So, Legendary with James Bay. James Bay's vocals done nothing for. I've seen James Bay live. He supported Stereophonics a couple of months back, and he was very good live, and his voice sounded very good. I just don't think his voice suits Legendary, to be honest with you. Living Proof of Jelly Roll, I've spoken about that before. We Made It Look Easy. I don't think I prefer the version with Robbie, but it's not worse either. Do you know what I mean? It just works. And I like it, to be honest with you. I listened to it on Virgin Radio today. After John's interview, they played it straight away and it sounded very good on radio. You know, when you're not expecting a song, it actually sounded really good. So maybe I do prefer it. War and Treaty one, People's House, I've always said I prefer that version. And I like the People's House studio as well, the original, but I think War and Treaty take that to another level. Everyone was going on about My First Guitar. I actually prefer the original. Just because it's got added guitar licks, doesn't really do much for me, and I really enjoyed the outro of My First Guitar on Forever, the normal album, and they took that away on this. What else? Walls of Jericho, it works with Joe Elliott, don't get me wrong, and I prefer the original. It works with Joe Elliott, but they've took away certain parts that I like. So, you know, when John says when the war is over and has that like kind of raspy voice, that's gone, because obviously he's doing that first. Waves with Jason Isbell. I love the second verse, and obviously they give it to Jason Isbell. I love John's delivery on it with Found Love and War. Thought You Were Waving, You Were Drowning. I love John's delivery on that line. I always have. To hear someone else doing, not delivered it the same way, it's just personal taste. I didn't hate this. I didn't hate the album when I listened to it really, but it's just, I know I don't really listen to the original album, to be fair, but I know if I was to go and listen to any of them songs, most of them, I'd say 80% of them, 75%, 80%, I'll go to the original album, because yeah, these duets haven't really done much for me. Living in Paradise with Avril Lavigne's okay. I'm trying to think of any others, to be honest with you. I can't even think. I'll be honest with you, I skipped Kiss the Bride because I can't stand that song, so I haven't even listened to that yet. Maybe later I will, but I actually skipped that. I couldn't be bothered listening to it. Yeah, so it is what it is. I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited for next year. John's vocals aside, what can we complain about? I'm sure the prices are going to be expensive. The Bon Jovi ticket prices have been expensive for a long time now. Don't get me wrong, they've done the odd one where they've gone, okay, we're going to do this part of the stand where it's sky high for whatever it was, 20 quid a ticket, so whatever. If you want to go and sit in the seats, that's fine. I personally don't. I love being at the front with my friends, and not the very front, but I like being at least front standing or gold circle and bouncing up and down with my friends and having the time of my life. Don't really like sitting in the seats where everyone's just sat there with their arms crossed. That's just personal again. That's my opinion. It's not something I'm into. But I said, apart from John's vocals aside, which I'm dubious about, don't get me wrong, he's still got, 10 months to go. But I'm not expecting any improvements. He's saying from spring he felt it open up and stuff like that, but I can't see it. I'm not expecting much. It's been 2 or 3 years now. However, yeah, I'm excited, and it's been a long time since I've been excited about anything. John mentioned the potential of warm-up shows. Fantastic, can't wait, because the one show I absolutely loved was the Palladium, so I'd love something like that again personally. I really hope when they do come around that they maybe bring 1 or 2 guests on. I'd love to see Robbie Williams up on Jovi live. I've mentioned it in previous podcasts, and I've mentioned it obviously on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm a huge Robbie fan. I always have been. I probably always will be. To see them 2 on stage would be fantastic. So hopefully that's in the UK. I'm sure it would be if they were. Hopefully that's in the UK. And yeah, I'm excited, guys. So if anyone gets to fight somebody, I haven't heard it yet. I've heard that snippet, but I haven't heard it yet. If anyone has it, send me it, please. Maybe by the time this goes out, I'll have heard it. But if not, someone send me it, please. But yeah, I can't wait, guys. I keep saying it. That's one thing I'm really excited for. There's a lot to come in Bon Jovi land, it seems. I still haven't got my book yet. I'm waiting for my book. I can't wait for that either. And yeah, let's see what 2026 brings, or the rest of 2025. Who knows? But let's see what 2026 brings. I really hope that we see more performances from John and he starts to sound better. But I'm not holding my breath. I generally not. I'm buying tickets knowing that John's going to sound pretty shit. But I love the band and I might never see them again. And if that's the case, I know I'd be gutted that I never got to see them and spend time with my friends that I've been fans with for 20 plus years now. So there's a lot more to it than just 90 minutes, 2 hours of a Bon Jovi show, than the singing. There's a lot more to it and I can't wait. Hopefully more podcasts soon. Cheers everyone.